Here.
Waters.
Here.
I make a motion, we go into closed session. The city council discuss strategy with council about matters where litigation is imminent because public disclosure would be likely to prejudice or disadvantage the position of the city in that litigation.
Second.
Perkins.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Capron.
Aye. Second.
Greckin,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters. Aye. Capron. Aye.
Move we adjourn the closed session.
Second.
Moore.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters. Aye. Capron.
Aye.
Greckin.
Aye.
Call the roll, please, on the regular. Agenda is items 2 through 20J. You can assume that they pass unanimously unless a council member asks for a vote. If you want to speak on any of those items, please come up as I read them and state your name and address for the record. If you want to speak on an item not on the agenda, again, state your name and address, but come up under citizen concerns. I'll move the consent agenda.
Second. Yeah. Might as well be ready.
2 is the reading of the city council minutes of July 20th, 24th, 31st, and August 2nd, 2017.
Guess who?
3 is a presentation of the plywood trail project.
Mayor and Council, Matt Salvatore, Parks and Recreation Director. I'd like to introduce Greg Grupp of the Plywood Trails Committee. He's going to be providing some information on the project and answer any questions you may have.
Okay. Thank you, Council. Just before we get started here, I'm just going to make this very brief, but I do want to acknowledge some dignitaries that we have in the room here supporting our project today. We have Scott Langle, the Lamar City Administrator. We have Neil Adler with the Lamar's Chamber of Commerce. We have Mayor Kirchhoff from Lamar's, Mayor Huseman from Merrill joining us today, all supporting this project. I might also add that we have some plywood committee members here, chaired by Ryan Meyer, as well as representatives from Siouxland cyclists and other interested citizens. Just real quickly, what we're here today to do is to solicit your support for the Plywood Trail via a letter of intent to negotiate and collaborate with the cities of and maintain that portion of the Plywood Trail within the city corporate limits of Sioux City and north to the Hinton South corporate limits. To date, all 3 connecting Plymouth County communities have unanimously authorized similar letters of intent. Just a quick bit of background, the Plywood Trail is a 16-mile trail project connecting the communities of Lamar's, Merrill, Hinton, and Sioux City. I might add at this point in time, Sioux City is the largest Iowa community without a trail connection to a neighboring Iowa community. And I think with Sergeant Bluff and hopefully with the Plywood Trail, we're going to help change that. The Plywood, a little bit more background, the Plywood Committee has provided the Sioux City staff with other examples whereby Iowa cities have actually owned trail outside of their corporate city limits and how that might be accomplished. One of the reasons that we're here today is public ownership of a trail project is critical to the success and long-term sustainability of the trail. Public ownership has liability protection that's not afforded to private nonprofit enterprises. Public ownership has the jurisdictional means to govern and enforce trail rules and regulations. And another thing that hopefully is not a concern down the road, but only public ownership has access to FEMA indemnity in the event of damage stemming from natural disasters. So our intent, the Plywood Trail Committee, our intent is to design and develop that portion of the Plywood Trail within Plymouth County jurisdiction with private equity and no local taxpayer dollars. Interests representing the business, education, and medical communities have all expressed support for the Plywood Trail and for the benefit, one, of our region's health and well-being, our public safety, and particularly I extend kudos to the Lamar's Chamber of Commerce and to the Siouxland Chamber of Commerce. They recognize the value of trails in workforce and economic development. Also, for the benefit of citizens, we have arranged meetings next week in Hinton and Merrill. Anyone interested in the trail project, any adjacent landowners that might be impacted directly or indirectly by the trail project are welcome to join us and share their concerns, interests, and questions. In the works today, our hope is to minimize and mitigate concerns of area landowners by using DOT right-of-way versus easement and acquisition of private land, and for a vast majority of the route. This is currently under study today. Basically, one of the things that we're looking at with the Plywood Trail is that we are connecting 3 Plymouth County communities with a tri-state trail network, both existing and in the works, comprising of 70-plus miles of trail crossing 2 major rivers and joining our tri-state MSA. That would be Sergeant Bluff, South Sioux City, North Sioux City, even including the Adams Nature Preserve, thereby providing one more reason to live, work, and play in Siouxland. So that's our request for you today, but I think we have a huge opportunity as a tri-state region to have a vast network of trail that is great for workforce development, great for economic development. Speaking as a business person and banker in Sioux City, this is one of those items. There truly is a tangible return on investment, and I can attest to that, having had to recruit workforce to our community. So with that, I would entertain any questions or any thoughts that you might have before I sit down.
Just appreciate you coming up and sharing the information.
You bet. Thank you for having us. We appreciate it.
Thank you for the hard work, and
No
thanks
doubt.
for Plymouth County also, because this is a huge deal for us.
Absolutely, and the cities represented here today, I do want to mention that each of the 3 cities has voted unanimously to support the trail with this letter of intent, and well, frankly, we're hoping the same.
I was
for
gonna
you.
say, you putting pressure on us now? Was that a shock?
Thank you very much.
Greg, I do have a question for you that,
Yes, sir.
and I'm excited about this project. It's just really great, just for all the reasons you outlined. But what was you said something about private equity? Is that for the?
The bottom line is this, Dan. We are trying, our goal, our mission, our objective is to raise private money to fund the design and development of the trail. Not only that, we are in Dickinson County Trails Board with the Iowa Natural Heritage Foundation. I chair their trails development effort. I worked on the advisory board for Sioux City Parks and Recreation back in the 90s, and also with the Woodbury County Conservation Board. And our estimates range somewhere between $900 and $1,200 per mile of trail, of a rural trail, to maintain it. Our goal is to raise a $500,000 endowment that if we do a 5% distribution every year, which should be sustainable, that would provide about $1,500 per mile of trail for maintenance going forward. So I hope that answers your question.
It does.
But
Thank
our
you.
bottom line is we want to do it with private dollars, not taxpayer dollars, connecting Sioux City to Lamar's. And we believe that we can do it.
Thank you.
Thank you. I want to add one more thing. Matt, I want to thank you for all your hard work, because of it, since we've gotten you in the city, you've just done an awesome job. And trails have been a big deal for us, and you've forged ahead, you've made connections, you've done everything that's needed to be done, and we're better for it. So I want to thank you for that.
Rhonda, this speaking, I'm not even going to let you talk on that one. Speaking for the business community, Matt has done a wonderful job. And you look at 26 miles of trail in Sioux City today, with more in the works. That initiative is paying dividends for the business community and the health and well-being of our community. I think you add 10 miles of trail development in South Sioux City, 16 miles going north to Lamar's. We have a huge opportunity. The last thing I might add on that is that if we get this Tri-State Trails Network done, the next step for us is, I believe, to go to the National Park Service and seek out a National Recreation Trail status. And that puts us on the map as a destination for pedestrians and cyclists. So
I'm going to add one more thing. The other side
That's
of
the
it.
third one more thing,
I
Ron.
know. That's a woman for you.
No.
Okay, so here you go. this is a tri-state area, and it's
Thank you
not
for
just a
saying
Sioux
that.
City project. This is a tri-state project. And the more people that we can get involved, the more people we get in our tri-state, and that's what it's all about. So I'm done.
Thank you.
I'm good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks. I gotta give you a hard time.
Before we open it up for public discussion, I need to just break away because it wasn't on my agenda here. The Mayor's Youth Commission would like to present a check, and I'm sorry that wasn't on my agenda. So come on up, guys, then we'll go back to the trails, okay?
I thought they were all here in support of trail.
Well, they probably are.
We don't want to.
Yeah, right?
We definitely want to accept a check.
The Sioux City Mayor's Youth Commission is pleased to turn over $2,012 to the Sioux City Parks and Recreation Foundation for Cone Park. The Youth Commission sold 375 bags of coated Colonel's popcorn for this fundraiser. Your Sioux City Mayor's Youth Commission last year contributed 4,396 volunteer hours back to this community, and this year so far we have 2,862 hours. In the past 3 years, we have turned over to you $9,512 from our fundraisers for the tennis wall in Riverside Park, Grandview Park Disc Golf Course, and now Cone Park. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you. What's that?
Gosh, Matt's having a good day.
Give her.
Yeah.
You're good. All right.
Yeah, I
One,
can.
two,
Right?
Yeah.
perfect.
Matt?
Why don't you all, just
Good day.
1 second, why don't you guys all just state your name and your school, if you would, before you leave?
I'm Taven Schmall. I go to West High School, and I am a senior.
I'm Kyra Hess. I go to North High School and I'm also a senior.
My name is Shelby Murray. I go to North High and I'm a senior. I'm Michaela Bozat. I go to Bishop Hill and I'm going to be a junior. Hi, I'm Kate from.
I am Thomas Burkhart. I'm a junior. I go to East High School.
Hi, I'm Katie Manny. I'm going to be a junior at Hill. Hi, I'm Carolyn Hopper. I'm going to be a senior at Bishop Hill.
Thank you, guys, we appreciate it a lot.
And I'll just.
Good job, Matt. You're the star today, you know that, don't you?
This is Matt's Super Bowl today. I'm
Yep.
pretty sure.
I want to ask a question, because I already had a landowner call me and say, you're going to cut across my property 100 feet in and all that, and I know that's not the case. But there, of course, when you have a project of this magnitude, there's all kinds of things out there that aren't true. So when is the public meeting in Hinton so that they can be there tomorrow night to have some sort of idea of where the trail's going to run?
Thank you for bringing that up. Wednesday, the 16th at the Hinton Community Center, that's going to be from 6 to 7:30. And then again on Thursday, August 17 at Merrill City Council Chambers from 6 to 7:30.
Okay, Wednesday, what?
Wednesday, 6 to 7:30 at the Hinton Community Center.
8,
Oh,
6?
excuse me, August 16th. Yes, August 16th.
Okay, and then when's the one in
Thursday,
Merrill?
August 16th at the Merrill Council Chambers at 6 o'clock.
Same hours?
Yes, and we'll have representatives from the Trail Committee and from our engineering firm there to speak about it on a one-on-one basis. And we will have, I'm sure there'll be more meetings in the future as well.
Right, I just want to,
Absolutely.
there's no way you're going to go across the guy's property. I told him this, 100 feet in, it's the taking of the property. The courts, I just had lunch and a judge sat by me. I said, we're all smart enough to know that's a taking. We have to take the whole property. It's not going to happen that way, but
Right.
that's the kind of rumors that get out there in front, and that's why people oppose these sort of projects. The guy's 100% for the project. He just, obviously, it's a business, and he doesn't want to lose it.
I'd point out two things, Bob, very quickly. One is trail projects do not have the right of eminent domain.
Right.
It's all by negotiation, that's number one.
Right.
And number two, for us to really talk about a defined trail route, we really needed to first identify ownership, which is part of the reason that we're here today.
Right.
Thank you.
Anyone else to be heard?
My name is Craig Hartman. I'm president of the Siouxland Trails Foundation. We've been a partner with the Plywood Trail Committee from the beginning of this project. Just here to express support. This link into our current trail system will go a long way to making us competitive with the other communities in the state of Iowa of equal size.
I would agree.
Yep.
Well, let me just say, thank you to the cities. Unfortunately, the supervisors in both our areas don't see the value of this trail system to me, which is terribly unfortunate that they wouldn't be partners in this project, and not just yours, but ours as well, as I understand it. And that's very unfortunate because trails make a huge difference in economic development. There's nobody that can tell you they don't. I told Matt, you know, if you would have kept building trails years ago, I would have not run again. That's one of the main reasons I ran, because I saw the impact they had in our community. And then we quit for 15 years of building a trail around here, which is terribly unfortunate. We're far behind because of that. But thank you for partnering with us. I think you'll probably see it's going to be a unanimous vote here as well. So thank you guys for doing what you're doing. We'll go on to 4 is a motion authorizing a letter of intent to the Plywood Trails Committee as the city's official position on ownership, sponsorship, and maintenance of the Plywood Trail. 5 is acknowledging Board of Adjustment actions of July 25th, 2017. For those of you that want to leave, you can assume that because I read that, nobody objected, it passed. So just so you understand how it works here, okay? I know you all want to stay. Yeah, I know you mayors want to stay and see how government works, but
God, they're all leaving us. Way to go, Mayor.
thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
very
Thank
much.
you.
Thanks for coming up.
6 is a motion approving an athletic facility improvement request for fiscal year 2018. 7 is a resolution temporarily closing various streets in the historic 4th Street District between 9 a.m. and 11:59 p.m. August 19, 2017 for the historic 4th Street Classic Car Show and Cruise fundraiser.
I had a question about that, Angel. I think will be a really quick question. I just wanted to clarify, I didn't see in the RCA. Are they working with the business owners? Or have they been
Yes,
talking?
they are. Angel Wallace, Parks and Recreation Manager. They have been in contact with the business owners. There'll be 2 other events that will be coming forward with similar street closures, and they're all collaborating together in support of these events.
I thought that was the case. I just wanted, I didn't see in there what's gonna be happening. If they wanna, if we're gonna be selling outdoors or just inviting people in. Just with the closure, I just worry about that, so.
Okay.
Okay, thank you.
Eight's a resolution setting a hearing concerning Paula Hogan's appeal of a notice of abate a public nuisance at 1408 South Hennepin. 9 is a resolution supporting a submission of the IEDA application for Workforce Housing Tax Credit Program for Black and Blue Development LLC. 10 is a resolution awarding a purchase order to Hyman for the purchase of turnout gear for fire rescue.
I had no question about that too. Chief? Hey, Chief, a couple things that I was just curious about when I was reading through it.
Yes, sir.
What exactly is turnout gear? Can you tell me that?
That is the gear, the coat, the pants, the garments that they wear into a fire.
That's what I thought. And it says that it's pretty customized to the firefighters,
yes.
is that right? The question I'm getting at, or I'm wondering is, it says that when we buy new, that they have to be disposed of after use, or we can't sell them or anything like that.
Right.
My question, is there any opportunity to use them for training purposes? I
We
mean,
do
is there
use
any
them.
use to that?
We use them for our Citizens Academy, for some of our spare gear if it passes and so forth. So it does get used unless it's unserviceable.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that was my concern, just reading through it. I was like, gosh, I don't want to waste that if there's an opportunity to just use it for those exact things. So
And we do.
That's all I was wondering. Okay.
Chief, you're paying for all 3 years out of this year's
No, we'll pay
appropriation?
year by year.
Year by year?
Yep.
Okay,
And we would have continued to contract as is, but they just wanted to update it, so.
okay.
Thank you, Council.
Thanks, Chief.
11 is a resolution approving an offer to the sale of land for Moburn Transport for the Bridgeport West Improvement Project and authorizing payment. 12 is a resolution adopting plan specifications for the construction units water facility structural preservation project. 13 are actions relating to grants. A is a resolution supporting a special grant program application by the Housing Trust Fund to MERD. B is a resolution authorizing airport improvement grant application to FAA for the runway 1735 reconstruction and chip project at the Sioux Gateway Airport. 14 are civil penalties and suspensions. A is a resolution assessing a $500 civil penalty against Central Mart, 1203 Triview Avenue for violation of the Iowa beer and wine and liquor laws. B is assessing a $500 civil penalty against La Pinta, 3124 Gordon Drive, for violation of the Iowa beer, wine, and liquor laws. C is a resolution assessing a $500 civil fine against Circle S Riverside, 2404 Riverside Boulevard, for violation of the Iowa beer, wine, and liquor laws. D is a resolution of a $1,500 civil penalty and a 30-day suspension of liquor permit for Sarge's Mini Mart, 2329 West 2nd Street, for violation of the Iowa beer, wine, and liquor laws. A 30-day suspension will begin October 6, 2017.
Can I ask a quick question? Is there, I don't see Sergeant Wagner. Is there a police officer in the council? No? I was going to ask what the overall compliance rate was for the year, just to see how we're doing. Typically, it's in the 90 to 95% range, but I think at the, I think in the Siouxland Cares meeting last Thursday, I think Sergeant Bollinger indicated maybe it's a little less now. And
We'll find out.
thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mayor and Council, I did speak with a representative from Surge's Mini Mart today, and I'm not sure if anyone was able to attend today. And is it Mohammed? Mohammed, yes. And he had asked for a month extension of time. The way that is on the agenda currently, it was scheduled to start September 6th. He asked for an extension to October 6th, and we would ask for an amendment to reflect that.
That's
if the
how I read
council's
it.
Supportive. Okay.
That is how I read it.
And I'm not sure if there was any additional comment. Okay. Thank you.
That's how I read it, so that should be okay.
Should be okay.
15s are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution approving an agreement between the Iowa Civil Rights Commission and the Sioux City Human Rights Commission, July 1st, 2017 until June 30th, 2018. 2017 annual crack sealing project.
I had a question, Dave. Is he here? Oh, there he is.
Hey, don't leave either, Mr. Carney. I want to show you a picture before you go.
I just had a question. Why was the second bidder so incredibly high? Do you have any idea? I mean, what?
I didn't talk to him. I don't know if there was any quick, if you talked, no, we didn't talk to the second low bidder, so no, we don't know
Who
why.
was the second bidder?
Barner Asphalt
Asphalt
Sealers, Clover, Wisconsin. Probably just threw a
I
high,
was looking at the line by line too of what they were.
probably just threw high numbers at it and thought if they'd get it, and make some good money off of it.
This is pretty much what it was last year, isn't it?
As far as the low bid, I don't know if we had a high bid like this last year. I don't know if we had a high.
No, I mean, what Knife River bid it at last year.
Yeah,
Yes.
Is the same.
It's reasonably close, I think.
yeah, it's
isn't it?
pretty close.
Okay.
C is a resolution approving a contract to Mark Albanesius for the 1300 block of 3rd Street Emergency Water Main Repair Project. D is a resolution approving a contract to Municipal Pipe Tool Company for the 2017 Annual Utility Lining Project. E is a resolution approving a contract to Christensen Construction for the 2017 Cone Park Splash Pad and Ice Rink Project. F is a resolution approving a contract to Hydro Clean for the 2017 Annual Manhole Rehabilitation Project.
Hey, Mayor, sorry. Dave, I did want to ask another question about that. I forgot. Sorry, with 15B. Maybe this isn't, I wanted to call you earlier to ask about it and I didn't get an opportunity to chat with you. 15D came in at 80,000 under our estimate, the engineer's estimate, and then with B, alternate, or with, 15B, Knife River one, alternative B was about 71 extra $1,000. Is there an opportunity to use those funds towards that, or what was all in that alternate? What I'm saying makes sense?
But you have to remember that
It's
I don't
different
think
funding
that fund is
sources.
That's what I-
necessarily just for
Okay.
cracks. It's
Yeah.
a big fund for
They're,
road.
yeah, they're two totally separate funds between streets and sewer, yeah.
Okay, I didn't know if we could be able to work it that way. Thank you.
16 are actions related to personnel. A is a resolution amending position classification manual and salary schedules by adding winter recreational specialist, winter snow technician, and winter recreational attendant in the Parks and Rec Department. B is a resolution amending a position classification manual and pay schedule by adding pretreatment coordinator in the Utilities Department. 17 are actions authorizing the issuance of checks. A is a resolution authorizing payment to Grumman Hicks for the 38th Street Reservoir Storm Sewer Improvements Emergency Repair Project. B is a resolution authorizing payment to G Asphalt Systems for the asphalt seal coating at the Sioux Gateway Airport. 18 are approved total checks issued for the reporting period July 17th in the amount of $18,465,670.04. 19 are applications for beer and liquor license. See the list, come forward if you have questions. 20 are receipt of the minutes. See the list, come forward if you have any questions. Anyone to be heard on any of those items, please come forward now. Are we voting electronically today?
No, we are not.
We'll call the roll.
Waters?
Aye.
Capron?
Aye.
Greckin?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye. 21 is a hearing and ordinance vacating the north-south alley at 3915 Ridge Avenue. The petitioner is Jennifer Nuez-Rios. P&Z recommends denial. So you will make a motion, and if you don't want it, you'll vote no. Right?
This item, we had a number of speakers and a number of comments made prior to and at the hearing on this item regarding use, primarily regarding use by neighbors of this vacated alley. And it was ultimate on a vote of 1 in favor, 4 against, and 1 abstain. And my name is Susan Stewart. I'm the Chair of Planning and Zoning.
Based on the alley is being used, right? Susan?
Correct, correct. The standard, the neighbors, several commenters and several people who attended the hearing indicated various uses of the alley.
So explain again, yes is,
Somebody's got to make a motion
I'll
and a
move
second, and
I'll
if you
move the
don't,
item.
if you want to go with what the P&Z recommends, you'll vote no.
okay.
I'll move the item.
Second.
Call the roll, please.
Capron?
No.
Greckin?
No.
Moore?
No.
Scott?
I'm going to abstain. I have a property next door to this property. I was not opposed to the vacation because I worked a deal out to make sure I could always work on the wall, so. But the rest of the neighbors complained, so.
And Waters?
No.
So we don't have to go on to the next because that already does away with that. Hearing 22 is a hearing and ordinance vacating all or parts of Curtis Court at 4436 Military Road. The petitioners Lisa Rucker, P&Z recommends approval.
This one was approved by the commission. No one spoke in opposition to it. There was one comment kind of in general opposed to the idea of vacations that was made in this docket, but there was no other concern about it.
The item.
Second?
Greckin?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
Capron?
Aye.
Anybody opposed to waiving the statutory rule?
No.
I'll move it.
Second.
Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
Capron?
Aye.
Greckin?
Aye.
Move second and third.
Second.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
Capron?
Aye.
Greckin?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
23 is an ordinance dedicating the north 54.5 feet of unnamed right-of-way at 3332 South Lakeport as Lincoln Way. P&Z recommends approval.
This item was approved 5-1. We had one abstention on it. There was no one who spoke on this particular item.
I'll move it.
Second.
Waters?
Aye.
Capron?
Aye.
Greckin?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye. Anybody opposed to waiving the statutory rule?
No.
No.
I'll move it.
Second.
Capron?
Aye.
Greckin?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
Move second and third.
Second.
Greckin?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
Capron?
Aye.
24 is an ordinance renaming how do you get square feet? Well, 155,591 square feet of Lincoln Way between east line of South Lakeport and the west line of Sergeant Road as Houlihan Run. P&Z recommends approval.
This was approved 5-1 with 5, and the 1 was an abstention. We had a variety of people who commented, some in support of this, others who thought there should be another street named Houlihan Way, others who thought this should be an honorary street. So we had a variety of opinions on this, but the commission approved it.
I'll move it.
Second. It's Houlihan Run though, correct? Not Way.
Did I say way? I meant run.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Capron.
Aye.
Greckin.
Aye.
Anybody opposed to waiving the statutory rule?
No.
I'll move it.
Second. There's no one here, is there?
Yeah, there's Bob's and Dad's.
To be heard. I mean,
No, well, if they're to be heard, they should come up. Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Capron.
Aye.
Greckin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
I'll move second, third. I mean, yeah, second, third.
Second.
Waters.
Aye.
Capron.
Aye.
Greckin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye. 25 is a hearing and resolution accepting the proposal of AP Sioux City for purchase of land in the Donner Park Urban Renewal Area vacated Chrissy Road next to 5800 Sunnybrook. I'll move it.
Second.
Capron.
Aye.
Greckin.
Aye.
Moore.
Have a conflict of interest. I need to abstain.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
26 is a resolution approving a proposal to sell property and authorizing a deed of portion of the vacated east-west alley at 1407 Rebecca Street. Petitioner BC Properties. I'll move it.
Second.
Greckin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Capron.
Aye.
27 is a hearing and resolution approving this to sell property and authorizing a deed, part of the vacated east-west alley, 811 Newton Street. Petitioner Dave and Kathleen Bertrand.
I'll move the item.
Second.
Moore.
Aye.
Aye.
28 is a hearing and resolution approving plans and specification for construction of the 2017 bridge repair project. I'll move it.
Second.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Capron.
Aye.
Greckin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
29 is an ordinance amending the municipal code by offering free parking for the first hour and city-owned parking ramps deferred from July 17, 2017. I'll move it.
Whoa.
Second.
I had a question about that. I didn't know if we were looking to defer that and with the downtown partners further, or if we had heard anything from that.
They sent us a letter.
Yes, and I sent a memo out. I think you guys got it on Friday. Dave Carney, Public Works Director. Yeah, I mean, we could defer it, I guess, and if we wanted to have some discussion about direction on their requests. I mean, most of the requests are things we are working on. I think the big one was the free parking after 5, I think is going to generate the most discussion. And I would have concerns about the amount of revenues we'd be looking at possibly giving up by going to free parking after 5 o'clock on our ramps.
It's currently 7.
No, currently it's 11 o'clock. The gates go up Monday through Thursday, 7 o'clock on Fridays.
7 o'clock Fridays.
Yes.
Okay.
And I think, when I talked to her, I was looking at, Reagan was here one way, after she had sent in this memo, she talked that they would, I think, we're looking at these recommendations are the free after 5 versus in lieu of the first hour free. The first hour free was something that came out of, I think, a joint council and parking advisory board a year ago.
It was Mr. Moore's idea.
It was in April, I think, yeah. Or something.
Well, and then we talked about it in April and we moved forward because initially we looked at the 2 different types of first hour free. One is just blanket, you get 1 hour free and you move on, which is what we were coming forward with. And then there was another would be if you were in and out in 1 hour, you'd be free. But once you extended that past that first hour, you'd pay for you'd pay back that. So I think there was some discussion parking in Skyway, and then we brought it back at the April joint meeting. And we decided to move forward, and we decided to move forward later in the summer so we could get summer, fall, and winter and see if that had any effect on it. And that's why we kind of didn't move on it till August, because we wanted to catch the end of the summer, get the whole fall and part of the winter in and see if it had an effect. But they came forward with several recommendations, and like I said, the biggest one
Where have they
being,
been since April?
we were waiting, so we wanted it to be August, September, October to get end of the.
Where, but I know, but then all this letter comes out of the blue last week.
Well, some of this, yeah, has been ideas they've been batting around, I guess. And city staff was involved in some of the conversations they had, and so was ABM, who's our parking operator. So, yeah, it's kind of, I think we got the memo, I think, last Wednesday, I think. So I wrote it on Thursday. Like I said, most of the stuff is things we're working on as far as looking at the Heritage Ramp, making it in and out on Jones Street. We did think that we'd have to, in order to do that, because it is set up for that. And we thought that Jackson Street was set up the same way, because the only bad part about making it because right now it's 2 entrances on Jackson and 2 exits on Jones. If we made it 1 entrance and exit on Jones Street, but we don't think we can we assume that Jackson was the same way, that it could be set up as an exit. Doesn't appear that may not be the case. We're gonna have to do a little bit more looking. And I think it'd be very difficult if we had 3 entrances and only 1 exit, because the exit's really the time-consuming process. Coming in and just grabbing your ticket and going through is the easy part. Is when you have to go through and pay or waive your card or whatever. That takes a little bit of time. So we'll do some more looking into that, but we think we'll put a CIP together, assuming that's possible. We will put a CIP together for that, and you can discuss that at that time. Adjust the reserve parking, some of the reserve parking that's in the United Center. We need to look into the development agreement that established that. It's my understanding we do get some revenue for those reserve parking spots, but if the building owner tenant is amenable to it, we'd be more than happy to. Diagonal parking, that was actually a staff idea. I think it's got a lot of positive support. It's the same movement you'd make if you're parallel parking. It allows us about 5 more parking spaces there, and it's much safer pulling out than traditional head-in parking. And then you have the free after 5 is where we kind of get, where our staff, I'm very concerned of the revenue losses we would be looking at.
Yeah, and I think they were looking into it and talking about it after the fact of the reinvestment district project. You know what I mean? I think that it was saying, okay, with these different projects and the things that are going to be happening, the increased downtown traffic, we want to be able to look at making sure that all the parking spaces are not only on the same page, but that we're also incentivizing people to come down. I mean, that's my thing. I totally understand the loss of revenue, Dave, from the parking side of it, but I also am looking at, I want more people coming and spending money downtown. I want no one to be deterred from parking and walking to have to go to a concert that's downtown, or to go to a restaurant and then have a drink after, or go to something. You know what I mean? I
To read the Journal this week, they want to charge $5 for every event. I think they're right, by the way.
So do I.
Oh, yeah.
We talked about that at
Tyson
Public
events and
Works
stuff.
today. And I think they were charging now $3, right? Is that
$3,
correct?
yeah. During the week, if there's an event, they man the parking ramps near the event.
Whether it's during the week or on the weekend, it should be $5. You know.
And I understand that. I'm probably okay with that. I don't know if we want to talk about some of those other bigger issues. Like, I
Well,
understand.
listen, we got a motion on the floor. This has been going on since April. So let's vote on this. We don't have to do second and third, but when are we? I'm sorry, but I'm not one of those guys that likes to sit around and talk about things.
Yeah.
We've been talking now. Let's make a decision here. So let's at least vote this, and then you can, those of you that want more, you can meet with Dave, but I'm fine where it's at. So let's.
We can do that. I would like to pursue the parking after 5, Dave. Look at the revenue numbers, see if it's going to be offsetting, just to try to change habits and try to increase the use of our parking garages.
But if you do that, then if I'm living downtown, what's my incentive to be a monthly parker. I'll come in after work. And
No,
I'll leave
that's,
before you.
no, I think they've talked about that in their memo,
Yeah,
didn't
they did. There's no
And-
answer.
Well, it'll have to be addressed.
I think the numbers we have, I mean, you could see, especially, we didn't count any 4 to 5 o'clock where you could get people who are currently a 4 to 5 leaving work, adjust their time schedule, so they're leaving after 5, so they never have to pay for parking. Because right now, if you leave after, the proposal that I got from Downtown Partners is they want the gates open at 5 o'clock. Anyone who left after 5 o'clock wouldn't have to pay parking. I could see a lot of 4:30 employees say, let me come in at 8:30 and work till 5, then I just got myself a $40 a
The
month
gate
raise.
goes up at 5, I'm working downtown, I leave before you put the gate down in the morning, so I'm not gonna be a monthly parker. I'll just get out of there and come in afterwards.
So maybe you look at 5:30 or 6 o'clock or 6:30. I think it's something that we should pursue we're talking about trying to
Yeah,
increase.
looking at the number, I mean, my recommendation from a staff level would be 8 o'clock, I think.
Yeah, because that's why I would support the first hour free, because if it increases the numbers, changes the habits of people using the parking, then let's do it, because what.
And that was it, we were gonna do it.
What we've done in the past hasn't worked.
Yeah, the first hour free too, we were gonna look at a 6-month trial, even though it was gonna cost us, to
Right.
see if it increased
Let
our.
me tell you why it hasn't worked again.
Why hasn't it worked?
Because we have about 50% more capacity than we have people that need to use the system. When you have supply and demand that out of whack, you can give them parking all day for free. It won't matter. Because we have excess capacity.
But we're trying to increase the numbers of people that come downtown and shop and use the restaurants, and there could be a whole segment of the citizens that don't even come downtown for whatever reason. Maybe this will entice them to come downtown.
People are creatures of habit.
And, yeah, but you just want to increase the downtown
I understand, I totally
activity.
agree with you.
I mean, I don't want to settle for who's using it now and for that. I think we can do better, and I think we can increase it. I think we can make downtown more attractive for people to come down and do their shopping, go to restaurants, go to the movies. I'll drop you off at the front door.
Yeah.
Sure.
And
No, I'm going to the mall now. You made it too hard for me.
Oh, I don't want, no,
No, you're going to the mall.
We're gonna go downtown to the movies.
The 2 times I go a year, I'm going to the mall.
I tend to agree with Mr. Moore, and I asked this question at the Public Works meeting. I mean, I understand the goal here is to get the transient parkers off the streets and into the parking ramps to free up more spaces downtown.
Well, just to get more usage downtown, period. Yeah.
Exactly. What I want to know, though, is at the end of this 6-month trial, what are we going to use, what measurements will we use to determine whether this is a success or not? Because ideally, if more people are using downtown, we won't lose the 19, right? If more people are using parking.
Yeah, we'd be looking at our
And people do
numbers.
come downtown to enjoy, for all of those amenities that Dan spoke about, then the loss won't be as much. But I just want to make sure that, what the end goals are. What are we hoping for?
We'll be looking at what our revenue changes are compared to
Okay.
the year before. We'll be looking at just the pure number of tickets that are collected. I mean, we can look at all those numbers and compare them to, for the entire 6 months. And
Will
see
there
where-
be a survey of
Well, then how are you gonna pay
people who have businesses downtown to see if their business picked up, or will we?
We could, I'm not exactly sure how we would do that.
Well, we
as
just
far
need to
as-
have some
Well,
kind of
I'm not sure what-
indicators
I'm
that
not
it's
sure what
successful.
what
If we're
kind
going to
of-
lose that kind of money.
Yeah, I don't know what kind of markers we'd be looking at.
Okay.
That might be.
There's no way to do a study. I'm just telling you, there's no way. If you're really going to do free parking till 8 o'clock,
Right?
I mean, do it your deal at 8, you've got to charge the meters till 8 o'clock. Because why would I even pull in the ramp if the meters are free?
Yeah.
I mean, it makes no sense what we're talking about here to me.
Okay, well,
It
first of
makes
all,
absolutely no sense, their letter, to me.
we won't have any revenue coming in to take care of the parking ramps.
Exactly.
So who's going to pay for that? We don't want to raise taxes, do we? No. So we have to come up with a better idea. Bottom line.
Increase the
I
usage.
still think that we should look, I still think we should look at what other communities have done, because I've traveled around a little bit this summer, and I've seen different ramps that are free after 5 and on the weekends to incentivize people to shop downtown and to spend their money downtown. I've seen it possible. So what I'm saying is, and I totally understand your point about leaving at a different time so you don't have to pay. I completely understand that. And I would be open to having a creative discussion about what solutions can we come up with.
Well, that was discussed, and I think one of the issues is when you do that, typically your gates stay down, and what was implied to us is they wanted gates up. Because when the gates are down, even if you pulled a ticket and you pulled out at 5 and it was still free, that because the gates are down, people wouldn't use them.
And what I remember from our downtown partners meeting was that we talked about that and said, well, obviously people could do that. We said maybe keep the arms down, but then have signage, you know what I mean? Like signage right above that, free after 5. Or something like that, so that people know whether the arms are down or not, it's free after 5, and we're trying to entice you, look, come down here, you can park here.
Yeah.
Because I agree, I mean, I'm not gonna pay there if it's free at the meters, I'm gonna drive around until I find a spot.
And technically, you pay at the meters till 6.
Yeah.
And that's maybe what we need to do, shift our meter attendants' work hours, so they're working till 6.
I was just gonna ask that. Do our meter girls work till 6?
They work till 5.
Whoa, I just
5:15.
put that out there. Okay.
Does
Well,
it,
you got free parking then from 5:15 till 6.
does it say on the meters there?
No, meters, it says 6 o'clock.
It does say 6 o'clock
Yeah,
on
if
the
you
meters?
leave, there's a little
Yeah.
tag inside the meter.
Okay. What is it, 8 to 6?
6.
8 to
Well, it
6?
is enforced.
Well, and what I've heard is even if we would move, because that's just the thing, like, and I think that's where the heart of Downtown Partners recommendation was coming from is, look, we need uniformity. Like, we need.
From the
there
Roger
to be-
books, yep.
Yeah, exactly. There needs to be consistency of where you can park, how much it is, because there are different areas where it's this cost until 5:15, this cost.
But again, I was
until-
going based on the conversations we had with them where I was told they wanted gates up. So that's where I'm like, yeah, you need to be later because you don't want to lose those revenues you're
Correct.
currently
Of
getting.
people parking there all day and stuff.
Yep.
I understand that. I do. And so I think that, yeah, if there's a solution that can be made to where then we're both on the same page, right? Is that, well, at least the people that are parking there all day are paying to get out and the people that are coming there at 5 are getting in there for free.
Well, and it would be set up too. If you came in at 4:30 or 4 o'clock, you're only going to pay for that first hour or, and then after 5, you'd be free. So you'd only pay the 75 cents.
Exactly.
So.
Because I'm just thinking with the future downtown development that we're looking at doing, that we already are voting to increase and bolster our downtown, I want more people going down there. So when I get off work at 5 o'clock, I don't want to be deterred from going and using a ramp or just be like, fine, I'll go elsewhere,
How many people pay the $40 a month to park in the parking ramp? Because that's, we got a couple back there. Well, okay, so wouldn't you guys be real excited if we had free parking and at like 5 o'clock on? You could check in at 8:15 and not have to pay the $40 a month.
It'd be a raise for me.
Huh?
It'd be a raise for me.
Yeah, well, there you go. There you go. But then we also
We
have
don't
to
know the
make that
number of
up someplace.
Monthly parkers.
Right. I don't have it off the top of my head.
You know ballpark?
No.
Oh, okay, just curious. I mean, you can look, just on these couple.
Figure 20 people a month times 40, what's
20?
that?
Are you kidding me that?
All right.
I'm guessing we probably have
Wait.
200 to 300 per ramp.
Yeah.
At
Oh,
least.
wow.
We're talking,
Yeah.
I got 1,000 cars
I was
probably.
gonna say, yeah, we're talking huge money here.
So well, that's probably $100,000 a year then.
Or
Probably
it's
about
probably more.
400,000.
40,000 a month.
Okay, so I don't know math, but there you go. Thank you, Mayor.
That's what I'm saying. It's not an easy solution here, guys. And you don't have that 400,000, guess what? Your ramps crumble.
Yep.
And we have debt service to pay.
Exactly.
That's why I wonder, the goal ultimately is to get more people downtown and to use, the amenities that are down
Close the
there.
ramp completely off. That's your goal.
Yeah.
Just close that one north of
And you
the,
know what, having free
of the
parking
hotel.
from,
Just close it and make it, have a parking shortage rather than a parking excess.
I think if you open the gates, and this is just my opinion, at 5 o'clock at night, the ramps are going to be full all day long. But nobody's going to be paying. Because if you're able to pull a ticket to just get in and the gates go up at 5 o'clock, you're going to have some honest souls that are going to put their ticket in the gate or in the machine and pay. But the majority of people are not going to pay. They'll just run out the gate like they do any other time.
I'm confused. But if the gate would be down, I'm saying.
If the gate is down, then they have to pay.
Yeah.
But if the gates are up at 5 o'clock and I pulled a ticket,
Yeah.
came in at 8 o'clock, I'm not going to put my ticket in to pay at the
Oh,
end.
yeah, no, I agree. I think that's what we were saying, is I agree with leaving them down and having people use it. I think then you just have signage that says free.
Well, I
parking.
mean, we're currently probably, I almost guarantee you, we're losing parkers that owe us money between 11 and 6 in the morning whenever the gates go back
I mean,
down.
everybody's not honest?
Yeah, I'm with you.
Oh, my
I
goodness.
told them I'd pay, but they didn't believe me.
The only way to do it is have a camera there.
Well, somebody break it. Now, come on.
Well, how many gates a year do we lose?
Yeah.
Let's just, we're not gonna decide anything today. Let's vote on this one and not do second and third.
Okay, yeah,
That
I
sounds
agree.
good.
Waters,
Aye.
Capron,
Aye.
Greckin.
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Scott.
No. 30 is a resolution approving a Seventh Amendment to the lease agreement with Gill Hauling for the collection of disposal and solid waste. I'll move it.
Second. I agree. I agree.
Yeah.
Capron,
Aye.
Greckin,
I got lost there. Tell me, what are we voting on?
30.
Gill.
30. Okay. Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
31 is a resolution approving a memorandum of understanding between Sioux City with WITCC, the Siouxland Expo Center, and the Woodbury County Expo Center for the development of the Baumgars Ag.
I should let Matt do all the talking.
Go ahead, Marty.
Mayor and Council, we are here today to ask for your approval of a resolution on a memorandum of understanding between the city, Western Iowa Tech, and the Siouxland Expo Center. There are, I think, 4 or 5 board members here, too, from the center, if you have questions, and I think Dale McKinney is also here, who's been, of course, the architect for the facility, so if you have any questions about that as well. So essentially, as the project has, we sent you, or provided you with a lot of information about the facility, how it's kind of evolved over the last couple of years, and also some projections that Matt's been integral into putting together on the operational revenues and costs of the proposed facility. As it's evolved, of course, it's still planned to operate as an agricultural expo center and have equestrian events and trade shows and so on during a portion of the year, primarily in the summer months. And then during the winter months would provide, in addition to that, some recreational uses that we think will work really well, and as the numbers show, and Matt can comment on that, really make the facility work well from a financial standpoint. So our plan is to seek IEDA approval on August 18th of our entire district. We think we can achieve that. They'll, in all likelihood, put some contingencies on the various different projects that are being proposed. And what we also included in your homework was a proposed memorandum of understanding between the major parties to this agreement. So the board members have worked hard, along with Matt and city staff, to put together a good financial plan. And again, as I said, Dale McKinney's here too. The plan for the facility itself has evolved, I think, with some very practical ideas as to how it can operate efficiently and at a lowest cost we can to transition between the different uses. So.
I've got one question about the MOU that when I read, I just wanted to make, for purposes of clarification, number 10, the subsidy. It says, in the event an annual subsidy amount is required from WIT, the annual negotiated lease payment will be credited to the subsidy amount. So I don't know what the lease payment would be. I have no idea, but if a subsidy is required at the end of the year, and they're paying $50,000 lease payment, we're saying the first 25 of that counts for their subsidy?
WIT would be obligated to 50,000 total. So let's say they pay $1,000 month lease payment, that'd be $12,000. In the event of a subsidy, they would pay an additional 38, so they'd be capped at 50,000.
Okay.
But if there is no subsidy and you don't have a lease, then there's no additional revenue going into the facility.
Yes.
So that's why we structured it.
I know that would be the goal.
Yes.
But in reality, if it doesn't work, I just want to know how we're sharing the responsibility for the required subsidy. But
They'd be capped at 50 between the two.
And we're capped at 75.
yes.
I had a question. Just one of the things I was reading through and a question I had, it said we were close to the size of an indoor soccer field. How close is it? Because I guess my worry was if we're close, don't you think we should go to be a regulation size field and be able to offer that and bring in more people?
I mean, the entire space could be used for a full-size soccer field. I don't think the fact that it's not 100% matched to a regulation soccer field would deter any type of activity. I think you're still going to have the number of uses and number of rentals based on the size it is that you would be if it's a few feet larger.
Okay.
How big is the soccer field going to be, roughly?
You have that number, Dale? Yes.
Soccer field.
Yeah, you're looking at 100,000 in turf, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Amazing how you can buy that, but for 17 years here, we could never buy the Bandits any turf. That's just absolutely mind-boggling to me, but what the heck?
We'll buy some new turf and then when we get tired of it.
Yeah, right, I've heard all those, heard all those stories, and I get it in a different way. Any other questions?
I was just wondering, you really don't think, I mean, because I just think with a regulation size field, that you'll have official events, but maybe.
Let me
I'm
tell you what,
wrong.
you have an indoor soccer
very
field that's
close.
85 by 200, you will fill that thing every night. You could have 3 of them,
Yeah.
and you would fill it every night in this town.
Yeah.
Because they'll go down and play 5-man soccer.
I don't know, I'm not a soccer star,
I'm just telling you,
Yeah.
you'll play, that it'll be full every night. You could have 3 fields and you'd be full every night.
Okay.
It's the best part of soccer is you could stick kids in a little indoor field and play 3-on-3 without a goalie or 4-on-4 without a goalie.
Yes.
And
So it's 110.
you can
That's
fill those all.
Oh, yeah. No, I get that side. I'm saying if there's like an official event, you know what I mean, that goes around to different cities and plays, can we
You
host
don't need
something?
that big to play. You could have
I don't
2
think that would necessarily deter you from having,
For one field official event indoor in the wintertime makes any big difference.
yeah. I mean, the most uses that we'll have in that arena would be when the divider's down and you have 3 courts going at once. or
I
3
think Sioux
fields
Falls
going at once.
has indoor and they play all weekend nonstop and they do it on smaller fields.
Yes.
I think they have 2 or 3 fields going at a time up there in that.
They divide theirs
Coliseum.
into 4,
Okay.
and I don't think any one of them are regulation.
No way, the building's not that big.
Right. So I mean, they have a very successful model and works for them.
They adjust the players on the field by age bracket.
There you
based
go.
on the size of the field.
You don't want a full size, you don't want little kids on a full field anyway.
Right.
So you could have tournaments
You'd have them every weekend
every
here.
weekend?
probably could,
Okay, so what besides soccer? Basketball?
Basketball, volleyball. And on the turf, you could have baseball and softball camps as well. I visited the field house this winter and they were having baseball camp going
Or
on.
clinics or something.
Yeah, our clinics.
Okay, so are you talking batting too?
Well, we don't have football camps
We
anymore.
haven't talked about batting cages.
That might be something you might want to think about.
Yeah, it's something we can explore.
I guess we just do basketball.
We have one at Long Lines currently and it doesn't get a ton of use, but
I
this
don't
would
think
obviously
anybody
be a
knows
little
it.
bit.
I didn't know.
If you had a
had
batting cage in long lines and you're not telling people then because.
Yeah, I didn't know
There's a
anything.
real shortage of batting cages in this town. There is. You need to advertise that.
So is it, what kind of batting cage? Is it
low.
softball, baseball?
Either.
You can make
Machine pitches either?
I'm not aware. Are you aware of the condition of that machine? Do we have one? Oh, okay, so you'd have to supply your own pitching machine.
Well, that's very inexpensive. I've got one in my man cave. They're not that expensive.
What are you doing, BP in your man cave?
I do a little bit at night.
You throwing footballs too?
Just keeping the shoulders
Hey, Marty.
loose.
In the RCA, it says the final phase is expected to raise the additional funds needed to construct the facility. How much money is that?
We've talked about 1.5 to 2 million.
1.5 to 2? And will it be to complete the facility, or will it be the endowment money?
I think they'd hope to create somewhat of an endowment with that, so, as well, so.
Because you mentioned several times here, I think it's a $16 million project, and the figures you put together and the resources already committed, I had it at 15.85, so they're really close. I mean, they're really, I can't imagine why the Iowa Economic Development Authority would say no. I mean, we got to be.
I think we're close enough. I mean, our feeling is that we're close enough that they'll approve it. They'll put a contingency in all likelihood that we complete the fundraising and financing, but I think they should.
When are you going to talk to, when are you going down there to visit with them?
The
Is it a
18th.
couple weeks?
August
Oh,
18th.
that's sweet.
You're welcome to come next week.
What day is that on? I'll be interested.
Friday.
Ah. Who's all going? You and Renee?
Renee and I have gone many times. We'd like to get some more folks. You know, really, sometimes the communities, they're closer to Des Moines, but they'll bring they'll bring elected officials and other folks. We'd like to get somebody from the Ag Center Board as well.
Okay.
Well, it varies, the agenda varies a little bit, but they,
8 o'clock generally.
yeah, they usually have a due
9?
diligence
9
committee
o'clock.
first, so 9 o'clock.
So you leave what time?
Early.
She wants the carpool, Marty. All right, we'll set it up.
We'll talk to you about it. Yeah,
right.
you have to leave. Yeah, it's kind of an early morning. Yeah.
I might even be able to make it to work during the day then. Hey.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Motion?
We did.
Is it moved? Second? No. Second.
Apron,
Aye.
Greckin.
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Before we do the quarterly financial report, Rebecca, are you here? From Emergency Management? There you are. Come on up and introduce yourself and tell us all the great things you got going on.
I don't even know where to begin. I'm Becca Socknott. I
the
got
Olympians from
hired
Sioux
as
City.
the emergency management coordinator for Woodbury County. My first official day was Halloween. So it's kind of a day to
Ooh.
get right. But part of that, a lot of what I do has, with all the cities within the county. So I've just made it a priority that now I'm going out to each of the cities, speaking to the city councils and introducing myself. Been here for 5 years, but prior to that, I was full-time at the 185th for 10 years as the emergency manager there. With a total, I actually start my 15th year in September as a guardsman. So I'm still fulfilling that role as well. Current things right now, our hazard mitigation plan is going to be coming up here fairly soon. We've applied for a grant for that and just waiting to hear back. It's about a 2-year process. Some people cringe when I say that because of the issues we had the first time when writing it. But we're pretty hopeful with that. All 5 counties, including Woodbury, are going through the same process in our LEPC. So other than that, I just kind of come out to say I'm out at the Security Institute at WIT, downstairs in the EOC, the Emergency Operations Center. And more or less, I don't want to meet you for the first time when something bad happens and you need something. So I just wanted to come out and say hi, and that was about it. I have cards for everybody too, so.
Great.
Good. Perfect.
Well, we
Why don't you
welcome
just leave them with Don and we'll get them afterwards, okay?
Okay, is there any questions that you have for me?
She's doing a good job, I can tell you that.
Thank
Great.
you very much.
Yeah, we
Thank
appreciate
you.
you.
And thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
to say hi.
Yep,
Yeah,
nice meeting everyone.
you bet.
Nice meeting you too.
Keep up the good work.
Thanks.
Okay, Donna, go ahead.
Donna Forker, Finance Director. I am here today to present the cash results of the FY17 financials. On our general fund, our property taxes, if you look compared to the previous years, 15, 16, we are up, but we also levied more taxes in the general fund. Our levy did go down, but that was within the debt service. Our general fund levies went up about $1.3 million. We did collect an additional $40,000 in delinquent taxes this year. Our franchise fees, electric was up $156,000, gas was up $271,000, and cable was down $70,000. Cable is a trend. We continue just to see less and less franchise fees, but I think that's a trend nationally. On our casino, our agreement with them is $2.1 million, and we have a reconciliation payment that will get us up to a number. On our hotel motel tax, you are seeing a decrease from the CF Industries. We still had a very good year because of residual CF employees, but we expect that to bottom out and go lower with the year we're in, which is FY18. And our red light camera, the reason 17 was so high, they collected a whole lot of ADAT, or I should say 16, not 17. We still, though, had an excellent year in the red flex. We collected $1.2 million less than we did the previous year, but we still had an excellent year. All that money went to pay for the police fire radio changes for the Motorola frequency changes. On our general fund expenditures, we continue to either meet budget or are lower than budget, with the exception of in miscellaneous, and that was due to grants within the housing program and the rehab program, where we got grants that were more than what we thought, so we amended the budget for them, but we always compare to the approved budget, not the amended budget. Other major fund revenues, the sewer fund, we were less than we projected, but that is attributed to the major industrials, and we are probably going to see a continued decrease with now Big Ox taking some of the flows from our plant. With water, we did have increased usage, and so revenues were up. And I will be giving you a separate report later on the water comparatively speaking, when we were looking at rates versus what it actually ended up being. Property taxes, here again, we did collect more. Sales tax, we had one extra payment in. That money will be budgeted in 18. And then road use is on a per diem based on population, and it basically met budget.
Why is the sales tax up? They paid you one extra what?
We had the timing, we collected one extra payment. We have 13 payments in it. So we basically had one short in 16. The expenditures, we are trending just with budget. And then in departments, with the admin services, we had some payroll vacancies that made up for their budget being under. In airport, we had fund balance being used for repairs. And in arts center, we had an additional position that we agreed to fund, that they're going to they reimburse us. It's a development coordinator that used to be with the association, but they wanted it to be a city position, so we agreed to that. The city council, with the change in personnel, we have insurance savings, so the elections were different, so we saved some money there. Community development, here again, there's the grants that I was talking about. We received grants. Economic development, you're having about $300,000. That was the Siouxland initiative, $300,000 guarantee that we entered into an agreement for airport, additional help there. Fire is due to the less injuries, so we had overtime savings, plus we had 411 injury expenses that we didn't incur that we had budgeted for based on the previous year, which was so bad. Human resources, they had vacant positions open for part of the year. Human rights has a grant that the grant proceeds were paying for the difference, otherwise they broke even. In Parks and Rec, we had a budget in place for Cone Park. It did not open when we projected. And also park maintenance had some vacant positions and some CMG charges that they didn't incur. So that's why there's such a large savings. The majority of that is Cone Park. Public Works, or excuse me, skip police. The police department, the CMG, the police cars, we had a whole bunch of them scheduled for replacement. Those replacements didn't happen till the end of the year, so we had a lot of lease that we thought we would be incurring. We did not. Those will be happening in 18. And in Public Works, we had some equipment, large major pieces of equipment set aside for lease charges that did not get replaced, so those did not get expended. And in utilities, the savings you're seeing are landfill fees due to what we were doing differently with land application versus taking the investments. You can see that the market value is down from 16, but the majority of that is due to the fact that we had issued more bonds in 16 than we did in 17. And those bonds come in right at the end of the year. But otherwise, our interest rates are up on our investments, which is a good trend, and hopefully that'll continue. Any questions?
Well, it's not a good trend when interest rates are up because it means you're going to pay more in interest.
That's true on the bond
Borrow
side.
more than we borrow more than we have in the bank,
But I do
unfortunately.
miss the day where we're getting interest income over $1 million versus 200,000.
Sorry.
The only thing I ask is you've got all the expenses, but they're obviously, the revenue, if you'd have gone down by department, should have been up on some of that stuff, correct?
Revenues are up some, but usually, especially in the charge for service area, we very rarely meet expectations on that.
But go back.
Which,
The one, like, community development shows your.
their revenue is up, yes.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, so that this is not a fair reflection of how they actually did.
That is correct. I'm just looking at expenditure budgets, which,
Right. But if for instance, if the event center,
the event center will show, right now I'm projecting that they're probably, once I get all the bills in, we're about 450,000 unbudgeted loss.
okay. And like human rights would have grant money.
Right, human rights and CD are gonna break even. You're exactly right that the grants basically match up with the revenues. What we're seeing on expenditures going over the revenues.
And
are
when's the
going.
art center gonna pay you that money back? Because that.
They're paying it on a monthly basis. So
Okay.
that one would be a wash also.
That'd be a zero out then. Okay, all right. Any questions?
No.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Donna.
Any citizen concerns? Council.
I was just going to ask, I know we all received the email from, what's her name? Cheryl Hansen, the Executive Director of Siouxland Center for Active Generations, and asking for some assistance. And I was just wondering off the top of my head if that wouldn't be a good issue for the Senior Advisory Board to take a look at.
I actually emailed her and.
I could tell you Cheryl Hansen
And I talked to
attends
her.
the Senior Advisory Board, is an active participant in that, and I think her email might be a little bit of an outcropping of our meetings that we've had.
Oh, okay, great, great.
I also
But that would
visited
be-
with her for quite a while on the phone. And
Yeah, I saw your email and I appreciate that.
Yeah, so, and we had a real good conversation, and I think we're gonna get together and visit some more, so.
And that's the only thing I had. I had another thing, but Public Works took care of that for me.
Okay, so I just got a text, I have somebody that will donate a pitching machine. Anybody's interested?
Okay.
For the mayor's man.
Well, they don't really have a batting cage if they don't have a pitching machine, I can tell you that.
Okay, well, somebody will donate a pitching machine, so,
And I don't think they have a batting cage. I think they let them bat in the deal. They haven't really built a batting cage.
okay. Well, thank you, Chris Hogan, for,
Huh? You gotta
doing
net
that.
'em. You gotta net them.
And, I'll get back to you on that, Chris. So,
I think what they do is let you go down and hit against the,
wall? The climbing wall?
well,
No.
there's a net there.
No, I know, I'm just saying.
Yeah.
Tomorrow, we're going on a little tour. Is everybody going on that tour?
I can't.
Dan, are you
I had
gonna
something
go?
come up. I gotta go out of town.
You're right, yes.
Okay, well, maybe I'll ride with you too then.
Yeah.
Okay. Are you going on the tour?
Yeah,
Okay.
I can't remember what the directions were to.
Yeah, I can't either.
I'll get it there.
Are you gonna drive? You want me to drive?
I'm driving.
Really?
You better believe it.
Whoa.
So where are you meeting at?
Wherever you guys want to meet. I can pick us all up. There's tent in the back, so there's only room in the front, but if you guys want to ride in the back, you're more than welcome. I was just, they might want it in the car, but if we're all in the car and one can ride in the car and tell us about what we're looking at, that'd be cool.
Was it a tour as we continue to drive?
That was my
Yes.
assumption, and then
It's a driving
I think
tour, but
it's
it's
driving, and then we probably get to the one, like the lookout or something, and get out and talk a little bit.
Okay, so it's at 4:00, so why don't we meet, like, at the parking ramp? What do you think? I'm just being smart, that's all. Okay,
Yeah, we can meet somewhere.
yeah.
You have a
We-
parking.
We can meet down at Tyson, if you
Yeah,
want to
okay,
do
that's
that.
cool.
Meet at Tyson and then
Yeah.
head out. Does that sound
Sure.
okay?
Yeah, and if we need, I can always drive too if we
Well,
need
me
it.
too, so, yeah. What time?
Well, it starts at 4, doesn't it?
Yeah, so,
Where do we have
We
to
want to be
at
out
for?
there at 4?
yeah.
You better leave there by 3:30 at the
Where do we
latest.
have to be
Yes.
at for?
But you gotta go up north of Stone Park.
But that's where we need to be at for?
Yeah.
Well, what, let's meet at Tyson
Unless
quarter
they-
after
no.
3.
Okay.
Will that be too early for you?
Do what?
No, I think it works for work.
Quarter after 3, we'll meet at Tyson at quarter after 3.
Okay.
Okay.
Take some work along, you can still bill up while you're
Yeah, right.
driving around.
Yeah, I'm getting nervous here. We'll be back by 5?
No,
No.
I bet not. It's a pretty big area.
I think it
up there.
says 4 to 6 is what I had written down.
Yeah.
And that's what I had as
Where are
well.
you gonna take us for dinner after that, Alex?
Wherever you want, downtown.
Downtown.
Bob will take
Downtown
you.
is where I'm gonna take you.
Bob will get
Parking
it.
lot.
You're going on the tour, aren't you?
I will not be, no. You can have my credit card if you want.
I'm not going, so give it to these guys.
I'll take it.
I got a credit card.
You got a credit card?
3:15.
You better believe it. But yeah, 3:15. I'll make that.
Okay. Then we can do dinner afterwards. And then Donna can come, you can invite her.
Well, oh, okay, I will.
You
Yeah,
better
I'm
post
serious.
where you're doing dinner.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
Well, we haven't decided, Bob.
We'll talk after.
Yeah, I don't care. I'm not gonna be there, so I won't be party to the lawsuit. Everything else, Rhonda.
I think I've said enough, thank you.
Okay. Alex.
No, I mean, I could talk about all the great events and stuff. Oh, one thing I would give a shout out, and I don't know if Reagan wants to say anything, but the downtown conference that we had is, yeah, I didn't tell you I wanted to talk about that, but I would just say that that's something that I thought went extraordinarily well. I went down and volunteered one of the days, and the people I was talking to, in fact, one of them, I didn't catch where she was from, but she said we were one of the most incredible host cities she's ever been a part of. She was just so thankful and said everyone was very friendly and inviting. And I mean, I don't mean to give you a big head, but I thought that it went well. And
It's me and about 500 other people. There were
Yeah.
7 people that helped put this on.
Boy, I seen a lot of people
come on.
walking around too.
Look at that smile. How can you not help it?
You know, it was great, honestly. That was 3 days of nothing but compliments about Sioux City and downtown. I think, and somebody came up, that was part of the IEPA, group, that I do have his complaint, and his complaint was that he didn't like bangs.
He didn't like you?
That's all it is, I'll take it.
He didn't like what?
But bangs,
Oh.
twin bangs, he didn't.
Well, we'll work on that for him then.
That's okay, I'll get you something else. But
Yeah.
no, it was a great conference to host. We have to thank so many of the sponsors, Jolly Time and Palmer both donated stuff to help make those breaks amazing. We gave people $10 in downtown cash for each attendee to go out and spend in downtown. We've already received over $500 back from businesses that have been given those certificates from attendees. The Hard Rock event was wonderful. That's the most they've had on a Wednesday night show since they started doing them. So we cannot thank them enough for selecting Sioux City for them to hold their conference. And I deeply apologize about the conversation earlier. I didn't realize we were going through that tonight, and I was in the car flying to get here. So I apologize for not being
Watching
present.
the speed limits, of course, Pete, don't worry.
Exactly.
yeah.
When I say flying, I mean, when it said 25, 24 and a half was where I was at. And I felt really guilty about it, but.
And through the parking lot is what she's telling us.
But I will say the second and third readings or anything else that I can do in the meantime. Again, I apologize for not bringing more information and being more prepared for you this evening, but we'll get it taken care of.
But yeah, in all honesty, it went really well, and I was able to go down and eat downtown so I worked on Wednesday, told some of them to go downtown to some of the various restaurants and try different things. I was trying to spread the wealth and get them to have a drink, but I went there and I actually ate at the Diving Elk, and everyone that was there from the conference was saying how incredible it was, and the food was great, and hospitality. And then I went to the show at Hard Rock, and that was great too. It was cool seeing it packed. So
Well, and thank you
kudos-
for showing
kudos
up and
to you.
helping. I
Yeah,
appreciate it. Volunteers were wonderful.
I love volunteering, so it was great just to see their feedback. That's what I wanted more than anything, was just to hear what people were saying and how they felt. So
Yeah.
that was good. And then we've had other
Thank you.
events, a lot more events that I was able to go to and looking forward to. I think the next one on our agenda at least is Saturday out at Camp High Hopes for, I think it's a ribbon cutting event as well.
I
so.
can't be at that either. I gotta be out of town on that.
Yeah, I can't make
So
that.
you guys are on your own
I
there.
tell you what, guys, come on. I'll be there. I'll represent. So I'll be there. And,
What time is
and
it?
excited. It's at 10
One
a.m.
of the few working members of the council, you have to
Oh,
understand that.
excuse me.
So I'm hoping I can make it
Thanks
on
for reminding
Saturday.
everyone, will you? Thank you.
With my hands, I still work with my hands.
Yeah.
We'll see if we'll be able to make it. I'm not sure if I will. I might be going off to the state fair, but we'll
Ribbon
see. But
cutting,
anyway, great stuff.
10:30,
10:30.
I got something to say.
Saturday, August 12th.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do. Can I
10 to
say
1,
that?
but ribbon
Yeah, what do you
cutting's
got,
at 10:30.
Okay. I see Rick Mock's back there. Come on up front, will you?
Oh, yeah.
Um,
Pretty incredible tournament.
Yes. I want to thank Rick for all the years of golf tournaments that he's had. It's 17 years for his daughter. His daughter was 17 when she passed, and they did the tournament for 17 years. They have raised close to $1 million, and that money has stayed in the community, and it has gone to many, many different organizations. I know what kind of work it is to put on a golf tournament, and for 17 years, and for your daughter. I think that's just incredible. She had been an incredible woman. I never had a chance to meet her, but I have heard so many good things about her. And I just want to say thank you for donating back to Sioux City, because that's a huge deal. So thank you, Rick.
Thank you. Sioux City was very supportive of our family when we needed it to happen, so we're glad to give back.
Thank you.
Well done.
Thank you, Rick.
Thanks, Rick.
I think that's all I got.
Okay. I want to thank the mayor and the council for having a special meeting a week ago for Bridgeport West so that we could send a clear signal out that it's important to the council and to the city that gets going and we get it developed and up and running. So I want to thank all of you for having a special meeting. Secondly, maybe this has been announced before, but the 2017 Most Competitive Cities Food and Beverage.
Yeah.
Sioux City was ranked 4th in the list. We got beat out by Dallas, Fort Worth, Chicago, Naperville, Elgin, and Cincinnati. So that's a great deal that's happening. And then I take great delight in the Sioux City Journal article on our drop-off bins for glass recycling, catching on. city says. But I think the numbers bear that out. And I just, I've got such great faith in our community that people will rise to the occasion and change their habits and do what's right. And with glass recycling, it's happening, and it's a good job, Sioux City, for doing such a great job on recycling. I think that's just extremely important, and I'm glad we keep it out in front of us.
We have a ways to go.
Lastly, Fastenal.
Fastenal.
I want to make sure I pronounce it right. Fastenal, this is really fascinating. Fastenal had a ribbon cutting a couple weeks ago, and I attended that. And what was interesting about that company is that the 100th store, they originally started in Minnesota, Winona, I think, Winona, Minnesota. But the Sioux City store was the 100th store that they built. It was the furthest store to the west at the time, and now they have over 2,500 stores, not nationwide, but worldwide. And it's a great story. It's a great business, and I was really pleased that I was able to go and represent the city council at that ribbon cutting. So I just wanted to pass that on, because you learn a lot about these businesses, and I think everyone knows how we really make great strides to bring new companies into Sioux City, but I think we do a great job too of supporting in a long time and the investments that they've made. So I think we're doing a great job, in my humble opinion. That's all I have, Mayor.
Good. The downtown conference, I told Debbie Durham, thank not only Reagan, but the IDEA that had a lot to do with that as well, that we must have finally somewhat arrived, because after 30 years, we finally got to host a conference. That was kind of nice. I hope they don't wait 30 more years, but it was very nice. It was well done, and for all the local people that participated, thank you for that. I had the opportunity to go to breakfast last week with Mark Campbell and Terry Holton. Terry's with Seaboard and Mark's they're the CEOs of Seaboard and Triumph, the parent companies. And they wanted to just thank me for the staff and for our work as a council, that they have never dreamt that a project of that size would come off as easily as it did in Sioux City. So they were very complimentary of our staff. They said when we did have a problem, we got a hold of you and the problem got solved right away, and that doesn't always happen, they said. So they just wanted you guys all to know that our staff did a great job. So
Terrific.
Awesome.
with that, I'll move we adjourn.
Second?
Greckin?
Aye.
Moore?
Aye.
Scott?
Aye.
Waters?
Aye.
Capron?
I'm with you.
Aye.
If you get
So those were